Hey everyone, this is Andy from Singletrack magazine, and I'm here with Declan from Intense Cycles UK.
Hi guys.
And we're going to take a look at the brand new Intense Tazer. So this is Intense's first e-bike, isn't it?
It is, Andy, yes, absolutely. A little time in the making, something that Jeff's sort of wanted to do for a long while, but yeah, he's come in hitting hard with the first bike for sure.
He seems pretty chuffed with it. Looking at his Instagram account, he seems to be always out on his e-bike now.
Yeah, normally you have these long-winded sort of secret sort of campaigns ready to launch a bike, but Jeff was so excited he just couldn't keep it back. So you'll notice that through his Instagram account. So
yeah. So let's talk about that. So Jeff, we all know Jeff Stieber is the guy who founded Intense. Yeah. And even although now the bike's made from carbon, he still makes all the alloy test mules, doesn't he?
Absolutely, yeah, right behind his house. I mean, this bike is no different in the way that he delivered it as far as a project. It started with an alloy mule in the shed at the back of his house. Yeah. He'd done 3 alloy prototypes before they sort of found exactly what they wanted out of the bike. And then that 4th one was being the carbon, sort of they got the mix right of what they wanted from all the pieces to bring it together.
We actually did an article on these based, thanks to Jeff's Instagram account, and we could see the different variations, and we saw that the battery moved from the top to underneath, and now it's inside this downtube. And what's really cool about this is we've got a door on there, so I'll open it up and show you. So if you pop in here, you can open up here, and you've got access to your Shimano battery. What's the idea behind this? Why have you made it so easy to get in and out?
There's a couple of different ideas behind this, Andy. The first one really is what Jeff's idea for this is, people can use it as a performance bike, they can use it as an adventure bike. So if you have the bike and you have a spare battery and you're on a really long ride, that means you can change the battery at the trail side, nice and easy, stick the other one in the pack and carry on. The next reason for this was that it's really easy for charging actually in the bike. So there's no need actually for taking the battery out and going somewhere else. So as long as you've got a plug socket normally where you keep your bike, plug it in, keep the battery in the bike, nice and easy.
Perfect, yeah. And what's really, I mean, this door on its own, I know it's just a door, but it's a really substantial, thick piece of plastic, isn't it? It's like, so the whole thing is carbon fiber, and this is, look how thick that is. There's no rattles or wobbles, and you couldn't bend that.
No, and it's well damped as well, Andy. So it's got the sealer on the end to protect it against the elements, especially here in the UK. Yeah. So a lot of thought into the smaller details. Yeah.
Well, actually, saying that, I mean, I just cleaned this bike after riding it, and the door was on, and you can see nothing's gone in, and I was spraying it with the hose pipe, so it's nice and secure. So yeah, I mean, you've gone with the Shimano system. Is there any reason behind that?
Yeah, I think Jeff looked at sort of many of the different sort of variations that are in the market at the moment, and from feedback and from testing, he just felt that this suited what he wanted from the project. Yes. And everyone sort of they know a lot about Shimano Steps already, so it seemed like the obvious one to go with.
Yeah, and this is the E8000 motor, isn't it?
E8000, yeah.
Right, great. Yeah, so the E8000 is quite a nice little system. It's very compact. It's got a really narrow Q factor on it as well, so it feels like an analog bike. Yeah. Feels like a regular bike when you get on it. With the Shimano Steps system, we've got a screen up here, and being the E8000, this is a color screen. Yeah. And we've also got this paddle shifter here, but I believe this might change?
It will, yeah. It'll be updated to the toggle button. It's just really to clean up the cockpit. You can run an underbar for your dropper as well. It just means a lot of the time when people are coming to the end of their battery, you start to manage your use more. Yeah. So you'll find that you will be using those buttons a lot more. So just to clean it up, easy use.
Yeah, and also that being able to use an under paddle shifter is a bit nicer, isn't it?
Much nicer.
They're much nicer. Okay, so if we go over it, I mean, obviously this is a full carbon fiber frame.
It is, yeah.
Do you know what size this is?
This is a medium.
And the reach on
this? The reach on this one is 450.
450, so that's pretty decent. I mean, if you look at modern trail bikes now, 450 for a medium is longer, isn't it?
It's great, yeah.
It's not overly long, but it's longer than most brands.
Yeah, I think, the idea behind this bike was to keep the geometry pretty modern. Yeah. Not to the extremes, but certainly pretty modern. So 450 on a medium was, spot on.
Yeah, I mean, so far there's 3 models available on the Intense website. There's a small with a 425 reach, the medium with 450, and a large with 475. And just to give you an idea, my personal analog bike, pedal bike, is a 475 reach, but I get on with the medium 450 much better. Yeah. It remains playful. You've got that extra weight, and this weight is nice and low down. It's really low center of gravity, so you still get that planted, stable feeling of a longer bike.
Absolutely.
But you can chuck it about easier because it's shorter. Yeah. Perfect. Now there are a few neat features here, other than the battery door and the motor. Yeah. we've got odd size wheels.
Yeah.
29er on the front,
Yeah.
plus on the back.
Yes.
What's the reason behind
So
that?
again, as with everything on the bike, Jeff sort of he built it up piece by piece, and he tried different sort of wheel setups through the different alloy mules. So what he actually found, having that 275 bigger tire on the back means just more traction. So when you're putting the power down, it means that you're making most use of the power. The front going to 29, it just keeps the front of the bike positive, precise, feeling more like a traditional bike or an analog bike, as you would say, Andy.
Yeah. I actually, again, going back to Jeff's Instagram, I did see this bike with plus wheels front and rear.
Yes.
So you can see that there was that experimentation
Yeah.
there. And personally, I can see it. 29 at wheels, they just go over rocks and bumps much easier, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely.
And, I've tried plus on different machines, and on an e-bike, it makes a lot of sense. You've got a lot more traction. You can run a slightly softer tires, you can dig it in, and it's really good, really very comfortable bike. Other features here, we've got carrying on with the Shimano motor, we've also got a Shimano Drivetrain.
Yes.
And it's SLX.
Yeah.
Any reason you've gone for SLX?
You know, I think that this was in consideration of that, you know, we know that e-bikes these days, they're not the cheapest. So we wanted to sort of spec the bike with as high-end product, but not that it wouldn't be detrimental to your pocket if you had to replace something.
Yeah.
So we know that we're getting performance from the shifter, and the SLX mech, it performs great, and it's not too expensive to replace if needs be.
Yeah, I mean, again, on my personal bike, I go for SLX for that exact reason. If I hit a rear mech, an SLX rear mech, I don't have to worry. It's not that expensive to fix.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and also, does the torque come into it at all with the extra torque from the motor? Is that come in? Because you would need to change this, I suppose, more frequently.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just the setup to manage. I mean, the Shimano motor itself manages torque really well anyway. And I think that the third-party manufacturers such as Shimano are making their parts in consideration of what they're going to be used in, such like e-bikes. So I think as a package, it all works together. Yeah.
So SLX 11-speed group set. SLX cassette and chain, but the brakes are XT4 pots, which makes a lot of sense, doesn't
Completely.
it?
Yeah. I think you need to. I think you've got to go a bit burlier on the brakes just for that little bit of extra weight, and you want to have that confidence there. You want to know that you can stop because you want to ride this bike like a normal bike. So I think that's important.
Yeah. I mean, the extra weight, and you can go a little bit quicker into things.
You can.
Yeah, you can. Those big brakes and the nice comfortable suspension.
Absolutely.
And quite a lot of suspension, really, isn't there? There's 160 on the front.
160 on the front and 150 on the back.
Yeah. And the fork on this, is that an e-bike specific fork?
Yeah, it's an e-bike specific. Again, I think it's all down to the third-party manufacturers working with the brands to make sure that the package works well together. We know that the suspension e-bikes, it's going to take more abuse than your standard bike. So
So this is a Fox 36 factory with a Kashima Grip 2 damper, but it's a bit burlier. The sidewall of the stanchion is a bit burlier, isn't it? Yeah. Because of the extra weight of the bike.
Absolutely.
And on the rear, we've got a DPX2.
Yeah.
Right, perfect. Air shock. Very, very easy to set up these fork and shock. So really, really nice suspension. Very supple. Yeah. It makes a lot of sense to have decent suspension on a big bike anyway.
Yeah, definitely.
And this feels a bit like a downhill bike, to be honest. When you go in, you can ride it anywhere basically, and when you go down, you're like, oh, this is a downhill bike.
Absolutely, yeah. And that was one of the big aims for Jeff when he said about making this bike. He didn't want something cumbersome. He didn't want something that didn't feel too far away from a normal bike. So it was all about agility, speed, the modern geometry. Yeah, I think he's achieved it pretty well.
It's like you mentioned agility. Now people are going to be watching this and they're going to think, well, how agile can this bike be? Because how much does it weigh?
This one is in kilos. It's 22 in kilos.
It's 47 pounds. But to be honest, picking it up, it doesn't actually feel that bad. To be fair, because it's very well balanced.
Completely.
And the weight is in the right place. It's all down here. It's all centered. And riding it today, you can bunny hop it just as easily as you can on a regular bike. To be honest, the only factor which limits how well you can bunny hop this is just how much travel you've got. You're just pulling more travel up, aren't you, out of the way. Other e-bike specific features include we mentioned the wheels, but these are hybrid wheels, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're actually the e-bike specific DT Swiss wheels.
Absolutely. Again, just noting back to that third parties all working together for that package to make sure that the components can handle what the frame's throwing at it. So
perfect. A few features. So we've mentioned that maybe this will change the production version. Yeah. And also, if you look underneath here where the battery is, we've got this little window, and that's for turning the battery on and off and that might change to black?
Yeah, but we think that when that comes into the warehouse, that it'll be black. I mean, it's not until they roll in do you know that these changes are actually made, but the intentions are just to make sure that it continues that clean look on the down tube.
Yeah. And one other thing that I found really neat was this built-in Intense mudguard.
Yeah.
And we've got one on the front here, but does this come with the bike?
This doesn't come with the bike. So at Intense Cycles UK, we try to make sure that when you're buying your bike that we can give you the package.
Yep.
You know, those things that you don't have to go searching for. So at the time you can add the mudguard on for a small cost. You can add pedals on for a small cost.
Right, okay.
We'll tubeless the wheels for you to take out the hassle for a £25 fee. So just trying to make it as easy as possible for the end consumer.
That actually brings me on to a good point, because now you're buy direct, aren't you?
Yeah, we are, yes.
I noticed that with all new Intenses, not just the Tazer, you get a really cool torque wrench and a pump with them, don't you?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it's what we really want to do is to sort of give that real good aftermarket service. So that starts with getting your bike, the box it comes in, the toolkits, and the way that we set up a bike when you actually purchase it. So we do a full shakedown, full bolt check, a rebleed on the brakes, and we'll actually set the bike up specific to your needs.
All right.
So when you're purchasing your bike at the basket stage, we'll ask for some rider details, and
that's
this helps our
perfect.
mechanic to set it up specifically for you.
So when it comes, so you order it online, it comes, you take it out of the box, twist the handlebars, wheel on, and then that's it.
Saga set, we put the right amount of tokens in the suspension. We set the bike up for the information that you give back. So as long as you're staying true to your weight and everything else and giving us the right numbers, we can set it up pretty spot on.
Yeah. So you've got to be truthful with your weight.
Absolutely.
Can't be like me. All right, perfect. If I wanted to buy one of these, how much would it be?
So this is coming at $689,999. It'll be available in early 2019.
Okay.
The exact drop date we don't have just yet. But expect to see it early 19.
So, I mean, obviously, what if I don't like yellow? Is there going to be another colour?
So they might. I can't confirm or deny, but yeah, I'm pretty sure there's going to be some new colorways coming along. So for those who are really interested in the bike, but perhaps want something a little bit more stealthy or a little bit more dulled down, then expect to see new colorways.
Perfect. Okay. Thanks very much. If you've got any questions, please put them in the comment section below, and we'll do our best to answer them as quickly as possible. And watch out for a bike check and a full review on Singletrack magazine very soon.
Awesome.
Cheers,
Thanks,
mate.
guys.
Thank you,
Andy.
Cheers.